IPM next. So integrated pest management, things to do in order to prevent pests from invading your grow space. What is your IPM routine?
So I try to focus on cycling three different ways of going about it. I use the essential oils, um, which I've kind of had a bad effect on them, but it may have been my own doing. I foiler sprayed when I should have waited a little bit for the lights to go off, and I got some burning, but that was my own doing. I use the essential oils, the EM5 from Build a Soil, and I just got a new one from Petrogrow, the Crop Defender, which I think it's got peppermint oil and an organic emulsifier. I'm not sure of all the specifics, but there's only 3 or 4 or 5 ingredients in there, and they're all organic, and I just implemented that into my garden. I got my first pest ever was, I believe it was a clover mite, a little round orange-red looking bug, and they started actually making their way up my stalks. So I panicked because I was on the road and I came home and I saw this, so then I hit it with the EM5 and the Crop Defender, and 2 weeks went by and they went away, and then all of a sudden they came back and I hit them with another dose. And that just goes to show I got to stay up on IPM, because if you wait for something to happen, it's too late. Luckily, they didn't make it to the canopy and they were eradicated. I used some ground mustard seed, which I think helps as far as the soil, keeping them underneath there. But yeah, I try to implement the rotation of 3, and I may switch it up. I've used neem before when I first got the beds and trying to find out the watering. I was overwatering a little bit, so I had a lot of gnats. So I had the traps, and, finally they did eradicate, and, the beds were able to balance themselves out.
I was going to ask you what pests you've kind of come across and how you got resolved them, and you just answered that right there. For the gnats, was it just the neem and the traps, or what?
I used the neem and the essential oils and the EM5 actually all in one.
Okay.
I just went for it all. Because it was bad. You'd open up the tent and they were flying in front of your face. It wasn't just 1 or 2 here or there. And I panicked because I just got this balanced soil. What am I doing wrong here? Which, Jeremy says that, starting a new bed, you're going to have gnats. It's just there's compost, there's, more moisture than, your regular size bed. And once I sprayed those on there, they went away and it kind of balanced themselves out.
And I assume that you were in the vegetation stage when you were battling that, or were you spraying that stuff while in flower?
No. Yeah, I was in veg, luckily. I'm a long vegger too, kind of just waiting to see for something to happen. And it did, and I eradicated it, luckily. And I did notice 1 or 2 after the fact, looking through my jeweler loop for on the trichomes, there was a gnat or 2 in there, which, is not the end of the world. Especially being the home growing, in a big facility maybe, but for me it wasn't really too big. I like bugs and dirt and stuff.
How often are you actually getting in there and kind of inspecting your plants and looking for pests?
Well, unfortunately, I only can get in there on the weekends. The occasion I will be home during the week, and I do try to dedicate a lot of time here. I'll wake up super early in the morning, kind of get it out of the way. I could do a better job watching for issues, so like, last time they got up the stock when maybe I could have eradicated it before then. So I do need to do a better job of overseeing my canopies and, finally looking through there and making sure everything's okay.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, it can get out of control quick. I mean, when you talk about the fungus gnats and how out of control it got, I thought about a time where it got out of control for me, and it was just so bad. If you're not on top of it, it gets out of control. And then you get frustrated, and then you start getting worried that the plant's not going to get to harvest. So yeah, being on top of it, scouting. I typically go in there every couple days, and I am scouting, looking for pests. I always have the yellow stickies there to make sure, just really as an identifier, right? It's not going to eliminate the population just having yellow stickies in there, but at least you're able to see if they're there and then take action from there. This clip is brought to you by AC Infinity. Use discount code MrGrow at 15 to save on any of their products.